Hey everybody, we want to welcome you back to I Told My Wife I'm Paying Bills. I'm Slim,
And I'm Black, back again.
and we are back. And today we have a very special episode for you today, because this is our 1 year anniversary of starting this podcast. So we dropped this our first episode on October 16th, 2022. Um, I meant to go ahead and cut up some clips, and I didn't. My bad. Sorry about that. But just in retrospective, it's been a interesting year. It's been pretty fun. We had a lot of guests, um, and we actually did a lot. We went to a couple of different places. Unfortunately, the one person that we wanted to we had hoped to get on the podcast with us still hasn't showed up. I'm gonna say showed up. I'm not gonna go into detail, but
Mhm.
our boy still hasn't showed up yet. So we're hoping, but if not, it's all good. We will continue on. But either way, for what it's worth, we do appreciate all of the love, all the everything, the likes and the sharing. Everyone who likes and shares for us, we truly appreciate that. Black, you got anything you want to say as far as that goes?
All I got to say, man, it's been a fun year. Getting into this podcast thing, and when we first talked about it, we were like, oh yeah, we're gonna try it out. But it's crazy how it's kind of grown on me.
Yeah.
It's something that is just something that I actually want to do outside just the normal business hours and all that good stuff. It's just we get to talk about fun stuff.
Oh yeah.
Movies, games, genres. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good.
All that good stuff, man. So it's like it's just a fun thing to do, man. We're gonna keep it rolling as long as we can.
Definitely, definitely. Yeah, and we have gotten better with our sound. Right now we're still working remotely. But I mean, either way, our sound, if you go back and listen, I think we were using those lapel mics at first, and we just had different things we had to work around. So I'm still gonna constantly improve on that. Hopefully things will work better, and then it'll be all seamless. We're working on that. But something else I'm thinking about, back to the original podcast. Our topics. So originally we were going to talk primarily about games, but I did notice that with our podcast that we expanded greatly to just general entertainment.
hmm
Um, we are both still gamers. Speaking of which, what game are you on right now?
Well, on the weekends, because I can never play that game during the week. Right now, I'm on Starfield,
Okay,
and Starfield takes a tremendous amount of my time on the weekend. I try to.
dude.
It just takes it's a huge RPG.
Dude, let me
I,
tell you.
I,
Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt you here, but you said the magic word, and it's so funny because so so many people were talking about Starfield. People I play D&D with, people that were on Facebook were talking about it, and it was so much stuff about Starfield around. So I was like,
hmm
man, I said, let me see what this Starfield's about, right? Dude, you talk about a tremendous amount of time. I will start playing that game. So when I was sick, all I could do was lay on the couch. I was sick earlier this week, um, and all I could do was lay on the couch. I was so tired, man, and I just picked up the controller and was playing. I mean, I was already playing Starfield before then, but like a lot of times when I play video games, I limit my time. I'm like,
Right.
okay, I'm like by 7 o'clock, I know I have to feed the dog. I know I got to get something to eat doing this. So usually by 7 o'clock, I usually turn the game off. So most of the time, my gaming hours are between, let's say, 5-ish if I'm not going to the gym, say about 5 to 7, somewhere around there. Then after, like later on at night, I'll game all the way up till like 10 p.m. and I'm usually like hitting the bed by 10. If I
Mm.
can, 10:30, at the latest 11. But anyway, you know. So it just depends on the game, whatever. Starfield, one of the days I was sick, I was on the couch and I picked up the controller at like 2 p.m. I did not turn that game off until 10:30, and that was because I made it. I made myself do it. I I even I and look, the funniest part about it is I actually, um, I actually paused one time, paused the game and grabbed something to eat. I got I would say a gamer's dinner. I can't even remember what it was, like chips or something. Excuse me. It was like chips or something. And and when I grabbed it, I grabbed the chips, I'm like, "Man, I'm living going back to my teenage and early adult years when the way I was gaming on that game." That game is so intricate, and right now, all I was doing was all I was trying to do was scan a planet.
Exactly.
So, is have you reached that planet yet? Is it like planet G something? G something
Um,
2?
there's so many. So I might have been there, but
Mhm.
I will have to see exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But it's just it requires you get lost on just one planet or a
Dude,
moon
dude,
or
I
or whatever. It's just it's ridiculous the amount of content that's in that game.
Oh
It's
my
just
gosh,
oh my
man.
god.
I'm like, why did people tell me about this game? Because I'm hooked. Like, I'm not lying right now. I am itching to play right now, but I told myself
Mhm.
do not turn it on tonight because I will be stuck and I have to get up tomorrow for work. I actually work today and I'm working tomorrow. And I got to get up for work. And I'm like, "Man, I'm gonna have to just find one of them days that I'm gonna play it on the weekend or something too," because that game is so good and so intricate, and I'm trying to buy myself a new spaceship. Have you bought yourself a new ship yet?
I haven't. I got one from one of the quests I was doing, the Crimson Fleet quest. They give you end up with what a prison ship,
Oh,
you know,
really?
and you can
Okay.
yeah, and you can actually because what I did was I started, you know, when I first started the game, I joined the UC
Mhm.
Vanguard, and you
Okay.
know, in the UC Vanguard, you know, I don't want to spoil it for you, but you end up having to go against the Crimson Fleet. But the way you do it is real. You know, it's
It's slick.
extremely surprising.
I
It's
think
real slick.
I think I joined the
So
Vanguard too, I think. I'm not sure, but I can't remember, but yeah, there's been so much different things that happened, so
yeah, yeah, it's just it's crazy. But I ended up getting one prison ship from that quest line, you know. But I still haven't I really haven't. I could buy a new ship right now, but I'm not trying to. Right.
Oh.
What I want to do is I want to continue to upgrade the ship I started out with, which it looks way different than what you know I started out with. So
Yeah, well,
it's just
I'm gonna
it's so
buy a
many
ship.
bills.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
buy a ship.
it's so many bills. It's so many bills, man. That how you could. I was looking at how I can make the Millennium Falcon, the Normandy from Mass Effect.
Uh,
I was like, I want my ship to look like the Normandy.
I saw that, I saw that. I would love to make it look like the Millennium Falcon, but there's
Mm,
one that looks like the Venture class. I can't think of what the full name is, but it's one of the ships from, the Clone Wars. And
mm,
it's the red and black. Well, the red and black, the red and gray ship, and a new Lego kit just came out for it too. So that's what That's why the ship is fresh in my mind. But I was looking at that ship and I was like, yeah, I want that ship. I'm gonna buy it, and I'm actually close to buying it. The ship is like I think it's like 2 million credits or something like that, or it's 200,000 credits. I can't remember how many credits it is, but
yeah,
I'm
it's
at
probably up
1.
there.
I'm halfway there. So, it's one of the ships that you get on New Atlantis. It's like one of the ones that they sell on New Atlantis. So, but now I'm like, man, I'm wondering if I should just go ahead and save my money and just save it for upgrades and just go ahead and do that, because I still have the original ship that you come in with. So,
Yeah, yeah, I upgraded the hell out of that shit.
sneezing here. All right. So I'm thinking about upgrading it. I don't know though,
Yeah.
but I want the ship to be wider. I want more space. Can you actually make it more
Yeah, yeah,
space?
yeah, yeah. See, that's what I'm trying to figure out now. You can make more space. All you do it's just the way you do it, and believe it or not, it's so intricate in how you build them.
Hmm.
Is that actually had to go to a strategy guide and figure out all the parts and all that stuff and what goes where, you know, and try to memorize it because just look, I was on the Chris. This is how bad it is. I was on the ship builder for like 2 hours.
Wow.
Just that's just the ship builder trying to
Wow.
figure out how can I do this. I was like, this game is crazy. I got to stay away from it. There's no way I can play it during the weekday. I told myself, I said, no, I'm not even going to bother.
That's hilarious. That is too funny, dude. So yeah, that's pretty much the game I'm on now. I need to since we've been talking and since we've been doing this podcast, I know I said there's a couple other games that I wanted to play and I wanted to get and things like that. I don't think I have. I can't remember all the ones I said I wanted to get, but the only game I've beat since we've been on this podcast was Gotham Knights. That was it.
You haven't beat you
Still
haven't
a
beat
great game.
yeah, you haven't beat the Jedi
Jedi
Survivor yet?
Survivor, not yet, and that's only because I'm close to the end.
Mhm.
Um, uh, but I I don't know. So a part of me was like, I don't want it to be the end because there's still so much to do. But I know once I beat the game, I'm not gonna want to do any of the other stuff.
Mhm.
So I'm like, but then again, too, like in my head, I want to beat the game. Does that make sense? So it's like
Yeah, yeah, it
it's
does.
like I
It does.
really want to go ahead and just finish the game, just because
Mhm.
I want to see the ending and I want to see it finish, and I know that there's going to be a part three. But um, I don't want the game to be over. But I don't. I know that if I finish the game, I beat the game, then I'm not gonna want to do all the side missions and quests. Because something about me is once I beat the game, I don't feel like doing the side missions. There's a
Yeah,
couple side
yeah.
missions on Gotham Knights
That's
that I
how
haven't
I
done.
am. That's how I am.
Yeah.
Like I just rather get the side missions over with, you
Hmm.
know. Uh, and then when it comes to the end game, it's just the end game. I mean, it's end game completely. That means I ain't going back to it unless I just want to replay it for whatever I
Yeah,
missed
yeah,
it. You know.
so I really do need to just take the time and just and play it. But it's like I said, it's something about the finality of it all. So I don't know. I might. I need to. I know I understood that, but then again, too, we still got to do Gears of War 3. So
Man, you
here's
know
the
what?
thing. What's up? I was gonna say because I was gonna say here's the thing. So the holidays are coming up. And I don't know how your schedule goes. We can talk about that off the air or whatever. But
Mm,
so Thanksgiving weekend, I get at least 3 to 4 days. I may take the whole week because I didn't take a real vacation this summer and this year. I didn't take a real vacation. So I'm trying to debate am I gonna take extra time at Christmas? Am I gonna take it at Thanksgiving? I don't know. So I'm gonna end up taking extra vacation time. That leads me to say we'll have time, if we can actually schedule some time to actually play those games.
I'm with it. I'm with it. I have to, like I said, I have to check my schedule
Mhm.
outside. But I was thinking about taking extra time during the Thanksgiving holiday, anyways, because you know, uh, this last vacation that my wife went on with her parents and my brother-in-law and all that good stuff, I
Mhm.
could go due to work. You
Right,
know,
yeah,
so
yeah.
it was a bummer, but uh, at the end of the day, I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna get those days somewhere or another. So
Yeah, yeah, there you go. Take your
yeah.
time, take your time. I
Mhm.
ended up learning, that, you really
You have
have
to.
to, man, because,
You have to.
a lot of these jobs, like, people will miss you, and I know that if something happened to me, my people at my job will definitely miss me. But then
Mhm.
again, too, it's still a job, and then, you're
Yeah.
gonna end up getting it replaced. You gotta take that time for yourself so you can do
Mhm.
things like video game, watch movies with the family, go on vacations and other trips and different things like that. You gotta take that
Right.
time.
Yeah, yeah, because you'll never get it. You'll never get it back.
Right.
It's time that's lost. So uh, most jobs, don't, especially depending on how how deep you are in the corporate, in the corporate world. You know what I'm saying, as far as how high your level is. But
Yeah.
most jobs, they uncompromising. My job is pretty understanding.
Yeah. Well,
But
that's cool.
just couldn't make it happen this time. But yeah, definitely you got to take that time, man. That's why I give my all to gaming, entertainment, man, family. That's really that's really life worth living.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, man. So, but yeah, we're gonna get on that Gears 3. And before the end of the year, we promise you, before the end of the year, we will finish Gears 3. We have so
We
much
will.
time off coming up that both of us have that we will find some time and we will do Gears 3. And we will give you our final thoughts on it because I got him this far, y'all, and he doesn't hate it like he did before.
No,
Excuse me.
no, no. I don't hate it.
Excuse me.
I don't hate it. Even the guy I was gaming with, I do feel bad for him. He's our guy.
Yeah.
And I was and I did ghost him, but I didn't ghost him that bad. But
Yeah.
I couldn't take it anymore.
But but see, the thing about it too is it's all a matter of how you play the game, and just actually going in and not trying to take too much out of it, and
Right, right.
that's another reason why too. I think you'll have fun with Grand Theft Auto online.
Mm,
I think you really enjoy that, but the thing is, you just got to play with the right people. So you got to lock down your server and have a private server for just you and your friends. Like, whenever you're ready, I got my daughter and her boyfriend. We can all play. We can actually get other people to play or whatever. But we'll all get
mm.
the same version and we'll play online together. And that actually, when you're doing those missions in Grand Theft Auto Online, that's much better and much fun. That's way more fun. So.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I think you'll really enjoy that. But yeah, like I said, it's about how you play and who you play with too. Because
Mm.
I don't think he gave you enough of a chance. I don't think he persuaded you the right way. I think he was just like, oh man, come on, like I was like, come on, you could have actually
Yeah,
did a little
yeah,
more. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
yeah.
he was a
Yeah,
bit.
because like I said, there are sucky parts of that story, and there's parts that you do have to get by. You really have to get through some of that stuff, you know. But
Mm.
once you actually get through the rest of that stuff, and you actually get into the rest of the story, and that's why I said we're about to actually the part that I remember that we're about to actually have fun and go on a submarine. Now that's gonna be fun. You actually get to see really big monsters there, so that's
Oh
fun.
wow.
Yeah. So, but anyway, going back, so um, one thing about this episode that we are going to talk about, it is spooky season. I believe that was uh I think our second episode. I can't remember. It was our second or third episode, but it was a little bit after. So our episodes are a lot more current now than they were before. So
Mm.
we're going to talk about spooky season, and in that respect, I did admit to being somewhat of a coward when it comes to scary movies and scary gaming and stuff. Actually, I've actually found a little niche for it now. I'm actually enjoying some of the stuff. So I've been watching, and I realized too that I actually do enjoy some scary shows. So we're gonna go over that in a few. Um, but what's really funny about spooky season 2 is, I do a whole little yard setup that I love out front that, right now I have well, not right now. I did it last year and I did it again this year, but I improved, and every year I'm gonna improve even more. Um,
Mm.
I actually have a graveyard set up in my front yard. So
That's pretty. That's awesome. That's
yeah,
awesome.
it's actually pretty funny too because so last year I just did just the graves and I did like a little necromancer and I did hands coming out of the graves and stuff like that and I have like an emergent zombie. This year I actually have a fence and I have skeletons and I got the skeletons trying to escape the cemetery and I got one of them that's actually pulling a body bag back towards the cemetery, so that's actually pretty cool. so
Yeah, that's awesome.
so
That's
yeah,
awesome.
I'm gonna improve that even more coming up. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
I was thinking about doing something this year, but I say I probably won't, kind of like pop my cherry on that one
Uh-huh.
until next year.
Yeah. Are you
I
allowed to
probably won't do
decorate
that.
your house like that in your area?
Only in Christmas
Okay.
that I actually decorate. I actually put anything out there.
Yeah.
But I've been really because Christmas I always dread because I always get made to go put the stuff out there. I haven't really enjoyed
Yeah.
it.
Well, hey bro, look, call me and I will help you get things set up because I love that stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I say Halloween now. That's more me.
Yeah.
Not because I have a dark soul, ladies and gentlemen. Just because just because that's one of my favorite. I'm a scary movie buff.
Mhm.
I'm a horror buff. So from and we're gonna get into it. I ain't gonna mention too many movies and games and stuff like that. But I'm a horror movie buff, so this is what I love to do. So I'm not a dark soul. No.
Yeah, yeah. I love Halloween, and it's not because of the whole scary aspect of it. It's the fun about it, and it's the nostalgia to me, and
Mhm.
seeing the kids run around in their costumes, coming to the door, asking for candy. That reminds me of a part of my childhood that opened up later than normal because I grew up in a family where we didn't celebrate Halloween like that. We didn't go trick or treating. I didn't trick or treat until I was in middle school, I think late elementary school. It might have been
Mhm.
middle school, but my brother and I decided to go trick or treating. But um, the nostalgia part of it is every year around Halloween, our elementary school actually had a fair, and that's the part that comes back, and then also remember us being allowed to wear costumes in school. So that
Yep.
was kind of like trick treating it too. So that was
Yep.
actually really fun. Um, so thinking back to that, that's why I love decorating my house. I love having, a little party that I have with just a couple of people here. And,
Mhm.
it's like I said, just nostalgia for me, and I love it. Really, I'm trying to find the right words for it, but it's really funny and ironic because, like I said, I'm not into the spooky stuff that much, but I am. So, um, so right now, I'm gonna go into well, I'm going to right now. We're gonna go into some of our favorite spooky stuff of the season. And I want you to actually think about some of the shows or movies and stuff like that that come to mind when you say, "I want to watch something spooky. I want to actually see a horror flick. I want to see, you know, not trying to be dark here, but I want to see some heads getting chopped. you know, I want to see Freddy running. I want to see like what's your go to? What's your go to horror flick?
I would say at this, the most recent thing I've clung to as far as horror is the Conjuring series.
Okay, okay.
And and I just recently watched Conjuring 1 and Conjuring 2, this month. You know,
A quick overview. Give me the 3-minute preview. What basically is the Conjuring about, without giving away spoilers?
well, let's not talk about the movie. Let's just talk about who they're based on. So, The Conjuring is based on Ed and Lorraine Warren, and they were demonologists back in I don't want to go too far back. I may be in the 70s, uh, or the 80s or whatnot, late to mid 70s or the 80s, if I'm
Okay.
not mistaken. But uh, it's based on them, and what they and the movies are based on some of the situations they were actually investigating. Some of the situations they were investigating, where there was the England haunting in in part two, Conjuring 2, or just the Bathsheba haunting that was based on part one. And Bathsheba was she was a witch.
Hmm.
And the funny thing about the Conjuring is that, there was an actual Bathsheba. It's in recorded history. And she was a witch, and she was burned, you know, uh for witchcraft.
Yeah.
And the particular property before she died, she cursed the property, where she was at, and Professor loves Satan. So that's what that's based off, the first one. And the second one is based off the England haunting, UK haunting that they had in Britain. I believe it's in London.
Hmm.
Uh, and that's what those two movies are based off. But I would say, out of all the scary movies I've seen recently, The Conjuring and Conjuring 2 are probably the creepiest movies I've ever watched. Uh, I when I was a kid, there was a lot of movies that were creepy because you're a kid. Everything is creepy. you know, that you watch as far as scary. You know, I used to think Freddy Krueger was the scariest guy ever.
Yeah, yeah,
You know.
yeah. I remember being afraid of Freddy, but it's so funny because I was such a scaredy cat too that I remember being afraid of Thriller. I watched Thriller, and
You what? You.
the funniest part about it was the making of Thriller. We actually had the making of Thriller, and that scared the crap out of me as a kid. And
Oh wow.
I'm like, how did that make it? I'm watching the behind the scenes of
Mhm,
Thriller, so I
mhm,
know it's not real, but it
right.
still scared the crap out of me. I don't understand how that happened. So,
Yeah, that stuff always interests me. Like, you know, when I first watched Thriller, I was always interested in how they get the zombies to look like that.
mhm,
Yeah, how they get them to move and look like that.
yeah,
You know, they use all these special effects and makeup and stuff like that. Even back then, it was pretty convincing. You know,
mhm,
that you had arms falling off and guys, faces was peeling off. I was like,
yeah.
what?
Yeah, it was actually it was funny too. The making of Thriller is actually pretty funny to
Yeah.
watch. So,
Hmm.
have you ever seen the making of Thriller?
I have.
Mhm.
I have.
Yeah.
It was just interesting to see how they did it.
Yeah, yeah,
You know?
yeah. Well, like putting the little like pulsating bubbles underneath his
Yeah.
makeup and all that. Yeah, that
Hmm.
was actually really cool. And you know what? Honestly, I'm gonna say this. You know, knowing that okay, it's a chance that somebody will probably take my idea. That was actually gonna be a costume that I was gonna either wear to Halloween or for cosplay. I was gonna be the werewolf from Thriller. So,
Oh wow.
yeah, 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 but I ended up not doing it. I still may do it, but, it just it'll take a little bit more than my normal costumes, you know? So, I don't know. I may or may not do. But anyway, going back to Freddy and Jason, I actually watched those movies when I was younger, and those didn't scare the crap out of me. All the Friday the 13th and, Nightmare on Elm Street.
Mm.
I used to actually watch those pretty regularly, and it was so funny. I specifically remember wanting to see, the Dream Child or what is it? What's the one when,
Oh, I think that was part five.
yeah.
Uh,
So
oh no, no, I'm sorry. Part five was Dream Master.
yeah.
'Cause I remember. I think part four. No, I'm sorry. It goes back over. I see. Part three was Dream Warriors. Part four was I think the Dream Master, and I
Mhm.
think the part five was Dream Child. Yeah,
Okay.
you're right.
So I specifically remember trying hard to actually see that movie, and one of them, I even bought on VHS when one of those, video it was like Video Update or another video store was going out of business. They had a whole
Mm.
bunch of their, VHSs for sale. I ended up buying one of them or whatever, that were one of my favorites, nightmares, but yeah, those are actually really good, and it was pretty funny too because I just always remember, uh, one of my favorite parts in one of those scary movies was in Friday the 13th, in Manhattan when the black dude squared up with Jason.
Oh yeah, and he just seriously knocked his head off.
That was
I
that
was
is
like,
like
they
one of my
just
favorite. That is
beheaded him.
oh man, it was so funny. He squared up and he was throwing them blows.
Hmm.
And all Jason did was one uppercut. That was it. I
Yeah,
don't even
that's
think it
all it
was.
took.
I don't. Was it uppercut? I think it was yeah. It had to have been an uppercut. I think it was the uppercut. But dude's
Is it
head
an
popped.
uppercut or a cross? One
That's
or
what I
the
said. But
other.
dude's head popped off and flew in the trash can.
Yeah. The funny thing about Freddy Krueger, though, get back to him, is that he stopped being scary to me after part two.
Hmm.
Part two was a little weird, but part one was extremely scary to me.
Yeah.
I actually had nightmares messing around with him
Yeah. Yeah.
in
Yeah.
part one. But
Hmm.
after part two, I mean, when the Dream Warriors came out with part three, I'm like, he's just making jokes, killing people now. Because if you
Yeah.
remember the one girl who had she had dreams of being on TV,
Hmm.
and he was in a mental institution terrorizing all the teenagers in the mental institution. So he says, he falls into this thing. He has arms and he's on the TV. His head pops out the top
Hmm.
of the TV, and he
Yeah.
grabs her. And he says, "This is your big breaking TV," and he puts her head through the TV.
Oh yeah. I remember that now. I do remember that.
And
Yeah,
I'm like, yo, that's just funny to me. That just not even scary anymore. I'm good.
yeah, yeah. He was a clown. And trying to be scary. I guess they did that on purpose to not make it as
Yeah,
scary and
yeah,
not
yeah.
scare
I
somebody
think
to
they
death.
did. I think they did because that kind of took the horror out of it, and kind of made like how is Freddy going to kill the next victim? You wondered how he was going to kill the next victim versus being scared of how he's going to be kill the next
Yeah,
victim.
yeah,
So
yeah. I've never been. I've never completely saw any of the Halloween or Texas Chainsaw Massacre ones though. Those are some ones that I just for some reason I never caught on to. Have you
I
seen any of
saw
those?
I saw like how many Texas Chainsaw Massacre? I saw two of them that I remember.
Mhm.
Oh, I saw three, but I know the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre was pretty creepy. You know, the second one, had his, I think it was a Chainsaw Massacre at the beginning, and it showed, where Leatherface came from,
Yeah.
and all that good stuff, and how he was born, and and all this other good stuff. So
See, I don't remember. Yeah, I'm almost positive I didn't see any of those. Um, and Halloween, I tried to watch it, but I wasn't able to. I wasn't able to get through that. Yeah. And I'm not saying that it's a bad movie. It just wanted it didn't interest me, and it wasn't because it was
yeah, neither.
scary. It just wasn't interesting to me.
Yeah, exactly. No, I feel the same way. Like, for Halloween to have all the intrigue that it has, I never took the Halloween.
Hmm.
And to be honest with you, I never took the Friday the 13th like that neither. It's
Hmm.
just that, they're popular. horror icons.
Hmm.
So, I never really took it. The only one I really remember seeing as far as recently is like Jason Goes to New York, because that's the one we were talking about
Hmm.
when he punches the guy's head off. Yeah, yeah, I think that's Jason Goes to New York, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. So it's definitely New York. I can't remember what the title is, but it's definitely New
yeah.
York.
It's
Uh,
definitely New York. So
mhm.
so so it's that one. It's that one, and remember the Jason and Freddy movie together.
Yeah, so I saw that one, and I just don't remember it, but I know for a
Yeah,
fact I saw that
yeah, that was pretty awesome. Being that uh how he was using Jason, how Freddy was using Jason, and all that other good stuff.
one. Mhm.
Until Jason found out, they end up going against each other.
Yeah, see, that's what I said. I know I saw it, and I'm just trying to remember it, but that's one I'll probably have to go back and actually see. I'll have to look on Hulu and see if it's on Halloween or something like that. So,
Mm.
so all right. So currently, though, other than The Conjuring, what else are you got that's in your wheelhouse for spooky season?
I would say, I would say the movie, other than The Conjuring, the other movies I've been watching. Believe it or not, out of all the Halloweens, the ones that intrigued me the most, which none of them really did, but the one that intrigued me the most was Halloween 3, because it didn't have anything to do with Michael Myers. I don't know if you remember Halloween 3, Season of the Witch.
Mhm. Nah, I don't think I saw. Yeah, like I said, I haven't seen any of them, so I don't even remember that title.
Yeah, yeah. So like I said, but it actually exists, and that was the one that kind of like that one was pretty. It was pretty interesting as far as the angle they took,
Mhm.
because Halloween's been about Michael Myers,
Yeah.
but that one in particular didn't have Michael Myers in it at all.
Mhm.
you know, this particular one was about this mask maker. He was a big time industry of Halloween masks, and they were Irish. It was called Silver Shamrock.
Mhm.
And these masks were, very, very popular. All the kids loved them and whatnot. But what happens is how the movie starts out. You see a guy running,
Mhm.
and there's this guy in the suit. In the cars, they look like FBI, but they're not, and they're chasing him. You know, and he ends up getting away, but he ends up going to this scrap yard, and the guy takes him to the hospital because he thinks he's crazy, because he's like they're going to kill us, because he has one of those Halloween masks. He said they're going to kill us all, and and the dude that takes him to the hospital, he's like, look, man, the guy just came out of nowhere. I don't even know. But long story short, um, come to find out, the Silver Shamrock, the guy who's responsible for making those masks, is a witch. He's a modern day witch, and he's made and the guys that were chasing the guy in the beginning,
Mhm.
they were all robots. Like, because they end up killing the dude that they were chasing in the beginning
Mhm.
because they caught him in the hospital. One of them caught him in the hospital and ended up taking his nose, and he broke his nose, and shoved it in his kind of like in his skull
So
because
robots
he's
is
a
a
bot.
interesting is interesting to to have in a spooky movie. That's kind of funny having robots in there.
Yeah. So he was like I said, the guy who was making the mask,
Mhm.
he had a plan. He said, it was uh this Halloween we're gonna it's a joke on the kids, and the mask was designed to absorb the signal,
Mhm.
that came from their Silver Shamrock commercials. So what the mask does is, if the signal's put out, there's a like a chip, in one of the Silver Shamrock like little logos that's on the mask.
Mhm.
And what it does is it triggers this. I don't know how, because it was the 80s. I don't know how, but it was just disgusting. When it actually triggers, because all types of snakes and bugs and stuff come out the mask. You know, because they did a test on one of the masks. In the movie. Once dude got caught that was investigating the whole plot.
Mhm.
He ended up getting caught, and you see he's like, let me show you what I got planned.
Mhm.
And he's in this test room. He's got this other guy in this test room with his family, because this dude was the leading sales rep as far as Silver Shamrock masks. you know
Yeah.
and he says, now just sit back and watch. So he played the commercial, and the commercial sends the signal out. That was the plan. They were playing that commercial constantly throughout the movie, you know and
How is that
that
a
was
horror flick? That's so funny. It just sounds so really weird.
yeah, it's more of like a suspense type movie than.
Mhm.
But once you see what the mask does, once it receives that signal,
Mhm.
all these bugs and snakes, and the little boy, I feel sorry for him because he died. Everybody in that test room died. you know,
Mhm.
once the signal got out, all these snakes and bugs and stuff start coming out the mask. You saw a snake coming out the little boy's mouth.
Yeah. That's
And I was
still
like, I was
yeah.
like, oh,
That
I
would
was
freak
like,
me
yeah,
out.
that's pretty, yeah, that's pretty freaky. It's more,
That definitely
uh,
freaked me out.
yeah. I'm trying to tell you, it's pretty, but it was a bit different. They kind of like they took like I would say they went the far left on this one,
Mhm.
because like I said, it had nothing to do with Michael Myers. The funny thing is in that movie, they actually played like the previews for Halloween, the first Halloween movie,
Mhm.
in that movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was pretty funny. I was like, okay, well, they had to have some type of, you know, Halloween, original Halloween Michael Myers stuff, in this movie.
Yeah.
It can't stray too far from the fact.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
Wow. I'm
yeah,
actually have to look that up. I don't know if I'm gonna end up seeing the whole thing or not, but that's interesting plot just to actually just hearing the little bit about it, you know? So
yeah.
so I was going in and I was thinking about all the things that I actually watch. And I'm a American Horror Story fan. Do you watch that?
I watched the first couple seasons of that,
Mhm.
and I didn't get back into it. Let me tell you where I stopped at. I stopped at, and I've been meaning to get back into it, but I stopped at. Do you remember the hotel one?
Yeah, with Lady
Yeah,
Gaga.
yeah, Lady Gaga one. That's
That
the
one
one
was
I
good.
stopped at.
That one was
That's
good.
the
I actually like that one. I really like
Yeah,
that
that's the
one.
one I stopped at. That one was pretty. That one was pretty. Was pretty creepy.
Yeah, yeah. So and here's the funny thing. I saw all the way up until the New York City one, and I had stopped for a while. And just because in preparation for this, I actually watched the rest of it. And actually, New York City was good, but it was more the creepy factor was more because it was garnered around AIDS. AIDS was actually the number one killer in the actual show because it was like back to the 80s. I think it was 70s or 80s. You know, when the AIDS epidemic first popped up in New York.
Mhm.
So that one is kind of garnered around that, but it still had a very creepy person in there doing some killing. But Hotel is one of my favorites. Coven is one of my favorites. Freak Show and Asylum. Those are all of my favorites. The other
Yeah,
ones,
pre-show was real crazy.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That clown was really like, oh my gosh, the clown was really creepy.
Yeah.
Um, and the other ones like what was that one? I can't think. Murder House was good. Murder House was really good, but it wasn't.
Murder House was good.
Murder
Yeah.
House was actually creepy too. Yeah,
Mhm.
but I think the other ones after that was kind of creepy. Apocalypse, not so much. You know, Cult, all those weren't all that creepy like you would think.
Mhm.
But I do love the callbacks. Some of them call back the creepiness of other ones, and then they actually have on Hulu. It's called American Horror Stories. So there's American Horror Story, and then whatever horror story season it is, it has its own title. Like like this current season is Delicate. Um, then they actually have American Horror Stories, and it's just like little 1 hour episodes. And those, if you got Hulu, watch those. Those are actually really good and creepy. Those are really creepy. They have 2 seasons out of that. The
Mm.
very last one of the second season is man. I really wish that one would have continued on just so I could have seen some more stuff about like everything that happened. It was crazy. It was really crazy. I don't want to go into too much detail just in case you do get a chance to watch it, but
Mhm.
it is really good. I actually really enjoyed it, so I can't wait to see how far they take this and where they go with it. But so far, I'm actually pretty pleased with this season of the American Horror Stories, and Delicate has been okay so far. But it hasn't gotten this creepy factor up yet, not 100% up yet. So
Mm.
yeah. But something else I actually just started watching today is it's from Mike Flanagan. The Fall of the House of Usher. It's on Netflix. Have you heard of that?
I haven't.
So it's based off of a Edgar Allan Poe story, and it's
Yep.
about a family who like the story with Edgar Allan Poe's story was different. Um, a brother and sister living in the house together, and then they end up the brother ends up burying the sister. Basically, that's it.
Mm.
Um, so there's more to it than that in the Edgar Allan Poe story, but I'm kind of like paraphrasing here, going through. This
Mhm.
one is different though. It's about a business family. It's current day, and it's about a family who's in pharmaceuticals, and all the children die. And there's more to it. So I'm only on episode 3 or 4 right now. I'm gonna try and watch as many as I can tonight, and see how far I get with it. So I might come back with something else. But um, that was so good. And also it's by Mike Flanagan, I believe his name is. I gotta look again and see. Um,
Mm.
but he's actually created The Haunting of Hill House and The Haunting of Bly Manor. I've been meaning to watch Bly Manor, but I saw Hill House and that was so good. I really love that television show. And that's why I was like, okay. Once I knew he was the one who made it, I was like, oh yeah, I gotta see that, and I gotta see Bly Manor. So
Mm.
I watched those. Those are all good. So great. I loved them. Yeah. Have you seen any of those?
I have not. Because I know about Edgar Allan Poe. Says the Raven Nevermore and all that other
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. Mhm.
So I do know about some of his stories, but I haven't watched anything as far as like on TV, as
Yeah.
far as anything regarding any of his stories. So yeah, I definitely got to check out because believe it or not, I'm a big fan of Edgar Allan Poe. I used to read a lot of his stories back in the day.
Yeah. One of the gravestones I put up in the front yard is Edgar Allan Poe too. That was actually pretty
Oh
funny.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um
definitely.
so yeah, definitely if you get a chance, check out The Haunting of Hill House. That's the first one that I saw by them. But I will let you know how the House of Usher just to see how it turns out, and then I got to go back and watch Haunting of Bly Manor. So,
Mm.
but either way, there's a whole bunch of classic ones that we should go into. But I think what we're gonna do is, we're gonna save some of that for either another episode or for next spooky season. Because what we're gonna do here, this is the end of our first season, and
Mm.
it's been actually a great season. Um, and I think we're gonna start doing the kickoff of every season is probably gonna be spooky season. I think that's gonna be our
I'm
first
down with it.
episode of every season.
Yeah.
So we'll have plenty of time to go into different things. We'll either talking about spooky video games or spooky movies or television shows that we both love. And I'll share pictures of my yard on Instagram and Facebook, so everyone can check it out and see. My yard isn't complete yet. I'm gonna try and probably finish it up Saturday. I gotta look and see, man. I went to go buy some skeletons, all sold out. I only got
Oh yeah,
3.
you can get. I'm trying to tell you,
Yeah, them
tis the
things.
season right now.
Yeah, I know. So, but either way, though, I see all kinds of stuff on TikTok, so I can actually improve my yard. So I'm hoping that next year or maybe before the year is out, I might make a spooky tree and everything like
Mm.
that. So anyway, sorry everybody for coughing through this. I'm gonna cut out as much as I can of the coughing, but like I said, I'm still getting over being sick. But either way, I did want to thank y'all for joining us. Thanks for following us this year, and we really appreciate all the support, all the love, all the feedback, whoever sends us. You know, um, if you got any questions or any comments or anything like that, you can always email us, told my wife podcast at gmail.com. Hit us up on Instagram, Facebook. It's told my wife podcast on Instagram. And I told my wife I'm paying bills on Facebook. Um, just like I said, hit us up, let us know what you're thinking. Actually tell us some of your favorite spooky stuff. So Black, you got anything you want to say?
Oh yeah, man. Just we greatly appreciate the our viewers, and we definitely greatly appreciate the viewers that share, our content. Uh, like I said, it's fun for us right now. We're hoping to continue that. So
Yeah,
greatly
definitely.
appreciate it.
Definitely. Yeah, but it's been really fun. It's really fun having the guest on. I'm gonna see if we can get some more guests, and we're gonna expand our content a little bit. But this has been truly fun. So thanks again, everybody. And again, give us a shout, either one of those, any of our socials, and we'll try to get back with you, and just keep in contact. All right. Well, with that, yeah, I would say this is Slim,
And this is Black.
and we're saying thanks again for listening. Happy spooky season, y'all. Thanks again for season 1. Season 2 will be coming. Hopefully, we'll have 2 episodes for y'all in November. But right now, this is the only one that's going to be in October. Just different things that popped up. But we appreciate all the love, everyone. Thanks again. Have a good one.
All right.